Whoa, party lights. That's pretty cool. Over the last 2 years of building this custom aluminum catamaran from scratch, Kaza and I have naturally settled into two very different roles on this project. I've been way more systems focused, and Kaz has been more design focused. But today's project is where those two worlds finally collide. I've been working all day on something, and I have a super huge surprise for you. Lighting has such a big impact on the look, feel, and functionality of a space.
No way! Whoa, that's awesome!
Yeah. But hiding behind every individual light is actually a surprising amount of engineering and complexity.
These lights have been quite a journey for both of us.
It has been a character building experience.
Yes.
So in this week's episode, we're going to shed some light on the whole process and show you what it really takes to bring a boat like this to life.
Look how good it looks! So this morning, me and Dan are working on the lights in the salon here. So there's like 11 lights on the plan that I created quite a while back, but because they didn't really take too much in consideration, like the hatches and different things that we did. So there's definitely some stuff that is gonna have to be moved, but we're gonna use the laser leveler? What do you call it? Laser leveler. And just do little marks where we're gonna keep all the lights. So we're just putting in reference lines and then marking it in the roof. Just trying to get it as close to the drawing as possible and kind of what makes sense with all of the other stuff that we've added.
Figuring out the position of the lights is also part of a bigger picture project that we're working towards. We're getting close to upholstering all the Salon panels, a process we've shared with you already in the portside cabins in a previous episode. So before we're ready to send the panels away to get finished, we need to lock in any and all finishing details, like cutting the holes for the lights, for example. And speaking of panels,
there was quite a few comments asking about the fast mount system that we're using on the wall panels and the roof panels. So yeah, thank you so much for sending in all your questions. It's great. We try to answer as many as we can, and sometimes when it's a lot of the same ones, I figured it's just easier to do this. So it's basically a two-part system where it's one part that gets riveted to these strings on the boat, and then the other parts get epoxied to the roof panel. Then basically those two clip together like that. The boys are bringing up the roof one now, so you can see all of them. It's like a little dot pattern. Why did you go with these specific ones? Was it a reason, or was it just like
to allow for tall people with their low profile?
Oh, they're like pretty.
Yeah, they're the lowest profile you can get. 10.5 mil they require. So
yeah.
Whereas the other ones 25 to 30 mil.
Oh really? So these are the lowest profile ones.
Yeah.
How hard was it to line all of them up to the exact right spot? Because this is like a lot of them on this panel that all needs to be perfect.
Yeah, what we do with the ones that are covered is we just pre-drill right through, and that gives you the mark through the panel and also through the aluminium.
Yeah.
And then on the ones that we don't want to mark the front part, I shouldn't be giving away all my secrets.
I know.
Here.
Maybe not do too many details, but it was really hard. Almost impossible.
Yeah, plenty of years of practice.
Yeah, so a lot of you guys asked where we get these fast mounts from. We just get them from fastmounts.com. We don't have a sponsorship with them or anything. They're pretty expensive, but yeah, they're the best ones we've found so far.
It was a long and delicate process, not just of cutting the holes for the lights, but we also had to make sure that every panel was perfectly straight and evenly spaced so everything would line up seamlessly once it was upholstered and installed. There was also a handful of other finishing details on these front panels that still needed to be worked out.
We got this GoPro storage area that I ordered, which I think is gonna be awesome, because on Delos I know that like you want to clip it somewhere central, and if I don't designate a spot, I'm afraid we're gonna clip it on like the wood or something that is actually gonna be damaged over time. So I decided to do this, and I think it blends in pretty good with everything else that I have. Also the other storage stuff, it's basically gonna be a shelf here, hasn't been made, and then I will have a shelf under here that is also going to be kind of like camera storage. And then oh, I also got the rail for the stairs, so I ordered this one. I kind of wanted like a low profile ones. I found quite a few of them that were more of like the ones that you have in the bathroom, and because of such a specific length, it was kind of hard to find like a brushed stainless, so it became this like shiny, but I think it's gonna turn out pretty good though.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, we've been making incredible progress. We made such good progress in the salon yesterday.
Yep.
And we are about to start on the lighting in the aft cockpit, which I am super excited for.
Yeah, but before we head into all of that good stuff, we want to share some new products that we have in the shop
Like
that were also
these very nice form-fitting. I just put this rash guard on and it fits really good. It's
so
such a nice
smooth
material, and
yeah.
it's got a nice little hood on it to protect your head.
Show the back, show the back.
And
Ooh.
boom, Delos 2.0 design.
Sweet.
It is really nice. And
I
it's
know.
really soft.
I love that color too. It's
Yeah,
a really nice
totally
kind of
cool.
like color. Yeah.
And
Oh, the tumblers. I've been using mine since
me
we got
too.
these sent.
I
The
had a
drinks
hot
really-
coffee for like a 45-minute drive
Yeah.
in this bad boy. When we got there, it was still piping hot.
Yeah,
I almost burned myself.
I know. We really
Be
love
careful
these.
of that one. It's got a beautiful design on it too.
Yeah, and it
Look at that.
doesn't spill. It's like very nice.
It's really good quality.
Yeah, and it has a little peep thing for both cold and hot drinks.
And while we're on the subject of drinks,
Yes!
oh, Mr. Brady's been at it, and he designed
How cute are
a
these?
Delos bottle opener. You gotta have one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really nice. Sierra loved it as well. When she saw it, she was like, I love these. I was like, okay. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much. You can head on over to svdelos.com/shop and get all the cool stuff. It's how we pay for the project, so thank you in advance. And
Now we're gonna go
we're on
and-
to the next thing.
Install some lights.
Woohoo! Well, today is the day, and I'm feeling good about this project. I've basically decided to install one of the LED lighting controllers from Safari. I'm going to backtrack here for a second and tell you about a Safari setup. We have some pretty cool technology that seamlessly ties our batteries, lighting, and lots of other functions on the boat together in a pretty cool way. Eventually, we'll be able to talk to Delos too. Be like, Delos enter party mode or something, and the lights would dim and like the smoke machine will turn on or something like that.
You'll say to Delos, tell me about the systems today. And Delos will talk back to you.
Whoa.
It'll be a bit of AI, and it'll talk back to you and say, your batteries are here, your water tanks are like this, and then look at the energy forecast on the solar.
That's going to be
wherever you are.
pretty cool.
And so I have all that mapped out. I can see it all.
We did a whole episode on it a few months ago, which I've linked to right here. And I highly recommend you check that out if you haven't already seen it. It's something we've spent a ton of time designing and planning, and today I'm diving into some of the first steps of bringing it to life. And it's the one that's going to control all of the light outside in the back. So it's sort of a proof of concept because it's the first one. I'll figure out how to wire everything up. If all goes well by the end today, we should see the strip lights. These guys around the edge, those should turn on. And then all of these spotlights, we have 10 spotlights in the back. Those should come on. And it's quite an intense project. You can see all the tools I have already, electrical stuff, screws, drill bits, Safari, lighting controller, time lapse, right angle drill, crimper, driver, clippers, ratchets, water, trash, another drill, tunes, electrical, tools. Believe it or not, heat shrink, oh yeah, and a heat gun somewhere. That's all the stuff that's required to do this little project. 1, 2. Actually started working on it already, but I've got a controller up here. I have to wire in these constant current drivers. This is a Meanwell LDD 700. The reason why we're using these is because these are high power, high performance LEDs, so you can't just connect them directly to the battery like a normal LED. They require a constant current driver. So what we do is the yellow and the blue go to the LED, the red and the black provide our power, and then the white provides a PWM or a pulse width modulated signal that handles on, off, and dimming. You get a very nice, very smooth dim with this sort of controller and a very high power light. And my goal is to be able to surprise Kaz by the end of the day with at least one light that works. Let's see how close I get. Just in case you didn't quite follow, here you can see a representation of how it actually works both when you switch it on and when you use the dimmer to increase or decrease the brightness. I got to work in the maze of wires and connections, and a few hours later, I was feeling optimistic for the big debut. What a YouTuber you are. Bill just did a whole thing and the camera wasn't even on.
Whoops.
I've been working all day on something and I have a super huge surprise for you.
Super huge surprise!
Super huge surprise.
Is it a cake?
Even better. Come over here.
Okay.
Take this in your hand. Don't fall off.
Okay.
Okay, push this button.
Ooh.
Whoa!
Now hold it in. Do you see it? Now keep on holding it. See it dimming, and now it'll get brighter. So press it and hold it.
Oh.
This is a blooper. What are you doing?
You've never used a dimmer before?
No, I don't think I've used it.
Watch.
It gives me anxiety, the button.
So this, when you press it like this, that's your on. Oh wait, there's your on and off.
Okay.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
watch when I hold it, and I press it in and hold it. Watch. See it getting brighter?
Yeah.
Now it's getting dimmer, and then it will go all the way down.
Lights.
Yes, we have lights and we have dimming
We
lights.
have a light.
Baby steps, baby
This one light
steps.
we have. Look
But
at
pretty
us.
Look at you
soon
guys
we'll
go.
have 4 lights back here. Because now that I got one working,
Please
I just-
replicate that.
yes.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it's all working through the Safari controller. It's all dimmable. Turns on and off. Yada, yada, yada.
Wow,
Cool.
that's awesome.
So sweet,
Good
right?
job, Brian.
Thank you.
Wow.
After successfully connecting the first light and figuring everything out, the next ones easily fell into place. Okay, you ready for your second wowing moment of today? Okay, push this button. Oop.
Whoa.
Okay, those are on. But now push this button.
That one?
Yep.
No way. Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to see it from down here. Okay, I'm gonna see it from down here because it looks so good. Okay.
Whoa, party lights. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty big win today.
Started pouring down rain.
Oh yeah.
It's great. Okay, it's home time.
Let's go home.
Lights out.
The next morning, we were ready to tackle the night lights that go all around the floor of the aft cockpit.
So we have quite a few of these in the back here. I think it's a total of just over 20. So one on each step. Coming up, we have some here. I also have
Sorry.
some over here, under the table.
Since the lights are so spread out in distance, and we want them to be all on a single switch, we need to extend the wire runs that came standard with each light.
What's going on, Bill?
Doing a little soldering. We're extending all of them. Like there's a wire to snake everything through. Measure all the wires, and then now I'm starting to solder. And then I'll run the wires and connect it all to the board, and then run the wires out.
This wasn't rocket science by any means, but it was definitely time consuming, and the whole project spanned the course of several days.
It was great.
Only took me 1 whole day. For 8 lights.
I'm so proud though.
It looks pretty cool. Yeah, these are controls. The white wires will control the dimming, and then positive and negative. And then these are all extensions to go to the lights in the hull.
What's the next step? Mount this?
Yeah, it's going above the panel there. And now I have to run all the wires out the holes, and then solder the lights onto the wire now.
Just gonna go up there somewhere.
Yeah, we ran out of space. It's going up here now. It's like,
I mean, you never really go into those things anyways.
no, hopefully not. Hopefully they're reliable.
This spot might be a bit out of the way in terms of easy access, but it's the closest we could get to for all the lights on this one side so that the wire runs don't have to be crazy long. After mounting the board, Bill started running the wires inside the hole to each light, another job that took way longer than you would actually think.
Okay, we're doing the side ones?
Yeah, we got those in.
Yep.
We didn't show push them in, but we're just putting a little silicone grease on these, on the O-ring to keep them fresh. And then you just pop them in.
Whoop.
They're not wired yet. Also working on that.
And then these ones, we have these we made this aluminum, like a sleeve for them to kind of pop into, so they're sitting very securely and stuff, and that they can't, you know, pop out or anything, that they're like really snug in there. Okay, so a few more to go.
Now that everything is hooked up and ready to go, there's still one piece of the puzzle that we're missing. All right, we're gonna run a pretty cool test this morning. So we're out testing some more of the lights that we've been working on in the back. And as part of that, I wanted to get the inverters configured and hooked up. Before I go any further, I wanted to quickly explain what an inverter actually does. Our batteries store DC, or direct current, but everything we plug into the outlets like laptops, our washing machine, camera gear, Kaz's prize vacuum, and my beloved espresso machine all run an AC or alternating current, same as your house. So the inverter's job is to convert the DC power stored in our batteries into AC power that can run all the stuff that we use on board. And when we're plugged into shore power or a generator, it actually works in reverse too, converting that AC power back into DC to recharge the batteries. And that is exactly what we need it for today. Now that we're starting to get more and more systems coming online, we need to be able to keep the batteries charged up using the power from the workshop. So the goal is to get the inverters up and running and then fully charge the batteries. So I've got my 48 volt switch on. Here is the inverter's breakers are off. I'm going to turn the contactors on to activate the network. You can hear them click. Should start getting the blue blinking light here now. Yep, you can see that now. And now let's turn on the inverters and see if they light up. Turn this guy on. There's one. There's two. They hopefully should turn on and start flashing. Now they're on. We're powered up. I did check all the wiring before I did all this, so that's all sweet. And now I've got there's a special little USB adapter you got to hook up to those inverters to program them. This is the control cable. Plugs in just like that. Okay, so the Quattro showed up. As you can see by the warning here, working with this kind of stuff is not for first timers. But as an engineer, a geek to the core, and a full-time cruiser of many, many years who has always done all of my own electrical work, I was fully confident in my abilities to set this thing up. Well, except for maybe this one little part. I think it's Z, 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 Z. 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, apparently it's Z, Z, Z. Z, Z, Z. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do parallel operation. Boom. Okay, it says check which unit has its LEDs blinking and assign to one of the listed roles, either master or slave. Let's see which one is blinking. Okay, so the lights on the one on the right, the slave, are blinking. I mean, really, it doesn't matter. It's just for troubleshooting and labeling and all that stuff. Excuse me, sorry about that. Just edit that out. So the whole reason why I'm doing this is to configure it as a charger so I can keep the batteries topped up. I need to reduce the current that it consumes so we don't, because we're just going to be plugging into a normal 10 amp breaker. Configuration complete. So we've got both multi-pluses in a state of inverting. They're wired in a parallel operation. All right, well, success. We are charging. Here's our house shunt. So you can see we're pumping in 47 amps at 54 volts, about 2.5 kilowatts, which matches here. So we're in business. Success. Happy. All right, we can probably tell by my shirt that it's been a couple days because I'm wearing my Friday shirt, but I'm happy to say that the batteries are 100% charged. It took almost 4 days to do it because I had to dial the current way down, but I have all 18 batteries charged. You can see it here. We just entered full charge, 100%, and we're still we just came out of bulk, so we're still sitting at 57.6 volts. We're gonna call that a win. So we were able to get the inverters configured, we got the chargers configured, we got all 6 banks of batteries, 3 each bank, 18 total, and they're all topped up and online. That's it, time for the weekend. Yeah. Monday rolled around and Bill was wrapping up with all the wiring for the aft night lights. So with the power good to go and all the puzzle pieces in place, it was time for the moment of truth.
If I wired it right.
How confident are you, Bill?
I'll be very disappointed if they don't light up.
None of them.
They all break. We're so close. Never been closer.
Okay, here goes nothing.
When are they gonna turn on?
Well, let me.
Oh, let me press the button.
Let's press. Hold on first.
Those turn on.
Yay.
Those turn on.
Wow.
Those turn
The
on.
last test. Here we
Now
go.
the big test.
Wait.
Oh! Look at that! High five, Bill.
That's a whole lot of lights.
Wow! That's a lot of light.
It's like a giant Christmas tree light.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Look at them all.
That's pretty cool.
Well, they're very bright.
We need the voice command so we can tell it dim 10% or something.
Yeah. It is really cool how you can do it with the phone
Yeah.
and this button instead of, imagine if you had to run all the wires to this thing.
So we already got our first change.
Because this one has 4 buttons, it would be nice to not have to have 2 of these out here because we have these 2 in the roof. The spots were on 1 button, these 4 were on 1 button, those 4 were on 1 button, then we had the night lights were on 1 button, and then the strip lights
The perimeter lights.
was the 5th.
So what we're gonna do is we can make these and these come on with the same button, which is just a software change.
Yeah.
So I basically just go in here, I scan it, we hit the button, and so that's button number 2, and channel number 2 should also be button number 2, and so we should go single on, those should come on. So now we can control them both with 1 button. So now all those come on together. And then do you want the night lights on button 3 or button 4?
I think it would be nice to have the 2 top ones be like the spots.
Yes, that's
and
how it
then
is.
These 2.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. Perimeter lights is that one and the night lights is that one.
Okay.
A few moments later.
Okay, I did some programming. So this is the platform lights. Boom. These are the lights above us. Boom. These are the night lights on the bottom.
Yep.
Boom. And these are the outer LEDs with multiple colors.
Cool. How does it look from down there, Bill?
Pretty good. Pretty fancy.
I want to go down there.
How's it look?
Looks great. It needs to get a little bit darker. Look how good it looks. These lights have been quite a journey for both of us.
It has been a character building experience.
Yes.
But look at them. It's
Yeah.
worth it.
It looks really, really
They're all
good.
working.
And we're here late today just to kind of like see them in the right light. So
Yeah, it's really hard to tell during the day.
yeah, like kind of how they feel and stuff. But I'm really stoked about the strip light on the outside too. I think it turned out actually better than I thought. I think it looks really good.
Yay!
Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. It means a lot. And if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments below. We try to read through as many as we can.
We do.
And
Every week.
otherwise, we'll see you next Friday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.